30 Minutes with Ron. Hello, my name is Ron Gagliardi, and I'm the host of 30 Minutes with Ron. And this evening we have another very special guest. I mean, not that all of the guests are special, but this guest is really special. Her name is Hannah Jung. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So I'm sure that the people in our audience are wondering, well, what does Hannah do? Are you, I don't know, you could be a businesswoman, you could be a doctor. What are you? What do you do?
I'm a director, executive director of the Voice of Art Gallery in Cheshire.
Where is it located in Cheshire?
It's right near Town Hall and next to Cheshire Academy.
And the address is?
2 Town Center Plaza in Cheshire.
Because our viewers may in fact want to go to this gallery.
Sure.
Because it features your art, also the art of some of the members.
Right. And not only just members, but also invited artists.
Invited artists.
Yes.
That's right. Can't forget them.
Right.
Okay, so just so they understand, the viewers understand, we have an artwork over here.
Right.
It's different than the one that we normally have. Much better than the one that we normally have.
What do you mean?
Because this is by you.
Right.
Okay. It has a title. The title is?
Turquoise Love.
Wow.
Yes.
I never knew that. All right, so tell us a little bit about it. What is the material, what is the paint that you use?
Oil painting on canvas. And a lot of people think I'm just an abstract artist, and this one you can call it abstract landscape because it has some imagery type of like clouds, water, and light. Kind of you can feel like it's a sunset. And the reason why I said the turquoise love, it's not like a really dark sunset, or it's a kind of in between. When the sky turned to kind of purple and pink and all kinds of amazing colors. This is something that I feel like the heaven comes down and kiss the earth. And that's how I feel. First time when I started painting this kind of landscape, it's more like the spiritual landscape, and it's like expressing my own feeling and about my journey and what I believe in, and hope that my viewers can share my feelings together, and whatever they reacted to it, I welcome to it, and yeah, that's why the water and the sky. To me, this is something that like a foundation of life, and like kind of the kiss is like a breath of the life, and just like your source of life or something. That's how I felt. So.
All right. Well, now you do a fair amount of these because I know there's a very large group of them at the gallery. Not always on display, but on the walls around the gallery.
Yes.
How many paintings have you done of this style approximately?
Like this styles?
Yeah.
I started about 2 years ago, and I don't know, probably 30 pieces.
And do you call it abstract art, impressionist art?
Abstract landscape.
Abstract landscape.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand that you occasionally enter these into art shows in different places. Can you share with us some of the ones that you've entered and what's happened when you've gotten them in there?
Yes. I've been exhibiting since I came to Connecticut 2000. My first show began in 2003 at the Bushnell, and some other major shows at the Silver Mine Guild Art Center in New Canaan, and some are from Korean Embassy in DC. And recently I have in a paint and clay club in New Haven.
You won a prize.
Yes, I had the second best prize with their purchase of a permanent collection. And also I just recently finished open show at this Samagandi club in New York City. It's one of the oldest prestigious art club in United States, and so I'm honored to be there. And they gave me awards, Allied Artists of America or something. And yes,
Someone bought your painting.
one of actually artists who participated in the show purchased my work, so it was very honorable.
Yeah, that's quite a coup.
experience. Yes.
Excellent.
When other artists really honor your work, it's more. I think it's more, especially when they have their own some journey and express, and they can share. They can see something through my work, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, usually when people buy my work, and a lot of people says like, "Oh, I love your work. The purple color, perfect for my kitchen, dining room, or my couch," or and people have a little more some depth of understanding and still love it. That's great.
And so when you sell an artwork, obviously you know the person who purchased it. Do you keep a list of the people? You like to know where your children are?
I love to know, yes, and that's, yeah.
Okay, now at the gallery, let's talk about the gallery a little bit.
Okay.
It is a non-profit organization.
Correct.
Okay. What's the benefit to that?
A benefit to be a nonprofit?
Yeah. Does it help you to get places, help you to get people to know you?
I think it benefits for the business aspect. Like, running gallery nowadays, it's very, very challenging. Everybody would understand after 2008, a lot of galleries in New York City, Chelsea, Soho area actually closed down. And, big art business, had got the attack after that, the financial crisis. So actually when I first time I started up this business, a few people really concerned and saying, this is not the place you can sell artwork. But my purpose was not like selling either my work or somebody's work and make a living out of it. It's more, I want to set a stage, like a first stage for many local artists that what I believe, what this organization can support in many ways. I got to know Arch Place, Joan Pleska, the director, 2003 with my teaching opportunity there. And since then, I was always involved with the many local artists in Cheshire, around the Cheshire, and knowing their life, how they, surviving or opportunities, or whatever, And I myself was struggling between real job and dream job, and one thing I noticed was there are many people who are looking for the opportunities, but it seems like they're not they don't have a professional gallery setting, and so I questioned what if there is one, and just get to know about what nonprofit organization can do, whether there some advantage being a nonprofit, and possibly more protect some financial risks, and hopefully some people who can understand what I want to do or where I'm going and can support with their own little bit of benefits as well. So I thought that it could work for artists and viewers and some business. So that's what I wanted to create.
That's what you're going for.
Yes.
Well, the title, The Voice of Art,
Right.
I mean, you're saying that art speaks to the world and speaks to people, and you want to help it with its voice to reach far places.
Right, and actually because the name, I was misunderstood a few times. A few people stopped by for a voice teacher. So just want to make sure this is the voice of art that speaks and influences and heals. Any can be art, any art, deserves to, have respect and their creativity. But what I want to, support and create the atmosphere through this place is that art that actually live, breathe on your life and influence what you think, how you live, and possibly can deliver some healings physically, mentally, known, unknown, chronicle or not, any kind of, just from my, teaching experiences, that's something that I really wanted to bring in. So,
Well, you mentioned teaching. I'm so glad you did, because the gallery is not just a place to display art, it's a place to make art.
Right.
So you give classes?
Right. So the legal business name is The Voice of Art Inc., but it's a gallery and studio. The reason I put together in one place, because when you have a gallery, if you just show the artwork, only the people who might be interested in viewing the work, and they will come. And it may be a little too challenging, and knowing that a lot of local artists here still, looking for some learning opportunities and have some like a gathering place. I provided some art classes, workshops for the local artists, like amateur artists, so that they can learn from any other invited artists' work, demo or workshops, and in that way we also have some little bit of a sustaining income, possibly.
You gotta have some income.
Yes, because I don't want invited artists to come and couldn't, in case can't sell anything, then they just have that a lot of investment on time and their finances. So I know from my own experience, that's why I wanted to have this combination.
Okay, so you give workshops. One of your workshops was recent with photography.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Our one of the members, Mark Batista, he came to find me at the gallery, and because he was also looking for the opportunity, and so he was so excited to find out about us. And he's our teacher, West Haven Public School art teacher himself, and also artist, and really, pursuing his professional career, really working so hard, and he's a painter and photographer. So he offered this workshop for many other local, photographers, amateur artists that can learn from him. And yeah, we had a very fun. Actually, Ron was one of the model for that portrait class, so he did. So we can share that picture.
Oh, geez.
I got some.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So now he's also a member of the Salmagundi Club.
Right. So he's the one actually also recommend me to submit my work, and see, that's something that I never thought about. Many, artists can help each other. When you have the, through this organization, I could, find some artists that we can support, and they can bring their experiences, their information, and we share. So I got help from him a lot too.
Yeah. Now, one of the photographers that I remember meeting was George Fellner.
Oh, yes.
And by the way, George is actually working on the Cheshire Public Library
Right.
renovation, I guess they're calling it. He's
So
an
the
architect.
library is his client.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And he's from East Haddam.
East Haddam, yes.
So he
what a
travels a long
connection.
way to get there for his job.
Right.
But he also comes to the gallery.
Right.
And he entered 2 artworks in a recent show.
Right.
And what happened?
He got the best in show. His work was, incredible. Just kind of challenging the viewers if it's the medium itself, if it's photography or painting or is it abstract or it's realistic, it's something that questioning all this edge of like a modern art. And so,
Well, I hope I won't break the surprise, but if you do get to come to the gallery and you see George's work, it looks abstract. And it's hard to tell what's going on and what he did with it. Was it a painting? Was it a photo?
it looked like an abstract painting,
Yeah,
actually.
but it's actually a close-up of petrified wood. Who would have thunk it? So you can find art in a lot of different places. You can
Right.
even find it in a close-up of petrified wood.
Right.
Yeah. And so you also do workshops with other styles of art, like there was one that you were planning with Chinese brush art.
Yes, this is something that I'm so honored to offer once in a while. This is actually the how I began teaching in the United States after, study graduate program, and someone came up to me say, "Hey, you look like Chinese." I'm actually South Korean. We share same the foundation of ink painting, so I learned since I was a kid. And so someone said, you could teach this in 2002. Since 2002, I traveled all over Connecticut. Some colleges, some art guild or any kind of art organization that invited me, and I offered and I presented the workshops and classes, or I'll just demo. And there are so many people who are culturally educated and enthusiastic about learning about this unique art form. Because there are so much in the depth of philosophy there. So, yes.
Well, I remember seeing in the brochure something about 4 men or 4 gentlemen.
Oh, 4 gentlemen.
Yes, I was a little confused on that. Can you give us a little explanation?
Well, okay, 4 gentlemen is a literal translation of a Chinese character, 4, and gentleman, it's actually could call like a nobleman or, aristocratic young man. These are for education, the Confucianism, Confucian.
Yeah.
The Chinese, the moral education for the young man, young nobleman to grow, become culturally educated,
Okay.
loyal to the kingdom, and so using those 4 symbolic objects from nature, which is a bamboo, orchid, and chrysanthemum, and plum blossom, with all different kind of meanings with that seasonal objects. And when they learn art, they also learn about those meanings, and they meditate on those. So art is not just for creativity, just activities or anything, hobbies. It's more really for their liberal art education, for their mind.
When you have a group of artists in, call it an artist club?
Oh yes, we provide an artist club for the local artists. This is not for like instruction, provided class. It's for more self-directed projects. You bring your own supplies, and we provide the studio settings, and you can just mingle with other artists, and you talk and share. In that way, you just build up your relationships with each other, and perhaps you can share some thoughts. When you just look at somebody else's work and how they do it really affects how you think and how you develop your own ideas. So that's what we, wanted to promote. The artists that come together and learn, once a week together, and yes.
All right, and there's also something that's very popular these days called a paint night.
Yes.
And you've had a few of those?
Yes, we did.
All right, what happens at a paint night?
Okay, our paint nights, well, 2 years ago, I heard from one of my friends, showed me a picture, and she said, like, Hannah, this is what I did. And I said, oh, that's cool, and how did you do that? And this is from paint night. I'm like, what is that? And explaining what she did. It was literally just tracing art, actually. Kind of coloring book, because they already prepared the imagery on the canvas, and what you do is, mixing colors and just fill in. But it gave her so much of hope and joy and, some sort of encouragement. And I was like, wow, this is amazing how people can appreciate this. And being an artist and never had any, problem with painting something or drawing something, and I just thought about it. Okay, if this is something people want, there should be a reason for it. And but being an artist and art teacher and learned a lot of art history background, I rather maybe perhaps we can provide something that more educational, provide some abstract art that people can learn about it. So we've been focusing on some more modern art after 1900. Well, actually including Monet, so it's in 1880s. So just showing some art with some slideshows so that they can learn about their background, why these artists have this kind of crazy movement, or and then we reflect on our own ideas, so nobody makes exact same paintings, and that's what we aim for. So yes.
So now I understand that you're hoping to get some of your paintings into local businesses as kind of like a rental agreement, so that the place gets a little spiced up with some good art. Yeah.
Well, since I was looking for art shows, for almost 20 years, I noticed a lot of a business, like a fancy restaurant in Madison Beach. They offer artists having shows, and there are some places that are known for those, but it's not from the like a gallery aspect. So I was thinking, being a community in Cheshire, there are so many medical offices and financial, institutions, and many places that might help when you have some artistic environment. And that will give artists also have opportunity to show their work. In that way, there were just mutual benefits, and hopefully artists can sell or put their names out with their artwork, and make a more joyful community. So, and hopefully some business, owners or the managers, whoever, understand what we try to do, and hopefully we can have some sponsorship with them too.
Right.
So.
And it is a nonprofit.
Right. This
Yes.
is nonprofit again, so it's not every nonprofit has this benefit. This is a 501c3, tax exempt. So when you sponsor us, it will give you tax deduction benefit.
Okay. Now, I just want to say something to the viewers about buying art. I guess buying art is not on high on everybody's list that they really need. Like, I need some milk, I need some bread, and I got to buy some art. That's not really how it works.
Right.
But it's something that is enriching to the soul. And as a minor artist myself, I'm not in the category of this kind of wonderful artist, but it's good for artists to feel like their work is appreciated. And one of the ways that can happen is for people to buy their works. And so I urge our viewing audience that sometime in the next 10 years, go out and buy some original art.
Thank you.
Yes, and one of the places you might go is the Voice of Art. Even just
Amen.
to go in there and look around, it's enriching to the person that goes in there for that experience.
Nice.
Now, we're getting close to the end of our show. I know
Okay.
it's gone by so quickly that you can't believe it's almost a half hour.
I
Is
talk
there
too
anything that you wanted to talk about that I forgot to mention?
Just as you said, you know, it's not something that they need for their daily life, but you may not, you know, think, you know. But to me, from my experience, there are people and purchase my work because they gotta buy it. They gotta have this, and that's what they said. I look forward to see your work every morning. I had an older couple later. I found it. I did not know who bought my piece, and 8 years later, they found me and they said, "I want to know who this artist
Oh,
was."
great.
So we finally found you, and they said, "We put my work. We put your work in our above our bed, and every morning we wake up and see your work." And I'm like, see, so this is not something that you go like a shopping and pick up something,
Right.
you know. It's something that it means to you, and hopefully that's what we want to bring, you know, the artwork here, and hopefully, even though you don't buy it, it's you know,
least get to see it.
Right, just
Right.
to see it. It's free. It's open.
Yep.
By the way, the gallery hours, Tuesday through Friday, noon to 6 o'clock. And Saturday, 11 to 5.
All right.
We open Saturdays. So
All right.
before lunch,
Well
after
said.
lunch.
Very good.
Thank
All right, thank you, Hannah, for
Thank
appearing
you.
on the show, and thank you for tuning in. Happy day.